Engage the person's character, not their personality, which is different. Their personality is the mask that they wear, how they appear in social situations. You want to look at what's underneath that, all of their character.
I never thought about it that way. That your personality is not your character. What the fuck? I never thought about it, but it is so true. Your personality is the character that you show in people, like around people. Your character is who you are when you're one-on-one, is who you are, is who you know you are when challenges come, is who you know you are when other people are not watching and you could get away with what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And your personality is something that slips over time, just like the mask. And what comes out of it is your character. And unfortunately, a lot of people, even if you show them the true character, a lot of people just suck at reading people. And so they'll never really get to know who you really are. As shitty as a person who you might be, some people will never be able to read that part of your personality and of your character because they're blind.
What are the qualities that you want to find in somebody that could be like a lifelong partner for you, or somebody that you could have a relationship for more than a few months, perhaps several years, maybe for the rest of your life? It's an extremely great question. It also really much depends on the individual and who you are, and there's never one answer for everyone. When we first get interested in someone, when we first fall for someone, it can often be a bit deceptive. We're charmed by their personality, by their looks, by their appearance, by how they, certain things that are in essence a little bit superficial.
It's like being enamored by how much how the food tastes versus the types of nutrient the food is giving you. And it's kind of insane because when you guys see my videos, you guys are seeing a personality. Most people don't really know not who I really am. I sound like a fucking psycho. You don't know who I really am, girl. Most people don't really know your real personality. I mean, your real character. And it kind of, you can see this with politicians where people just, for example, like I don't follow politics, but I've always heard about Chicago, how the African Americans of Chicago just keep electing candidates that look like them. I mean, if you look like them, they'll vote for you. That's pretty much what I hear from there. And I'm like, how is that a good gauge of character? You know? I mean, and that's the thing about politics. I only brought up Chicago because that's what I heard of the most. Is that in life in general, man, don't judge people based on how they look or how their personality is. Don't judge them based on how extrovert and introverted they are. That is not your character. That's just a personality trait. Your character, it goes deeper. It talks about your values, whether or not you're willing to betray someone, whether or not you're willing to steal from someone. That is not your personality. That is your character. That is ingrained. And whether or not you're a cheater, and some of those things can never be changed unless you do a 10-day Vipassana retreat, in my opinion. But that's just me.
And when you first meet somebody, they're not laying all their cards on the table. They're trying very hard to impress you, to please you. So all the other aspects of their personality that they may be a little bit ashamed of, but that aren't so great, they're working hard to disguise it.
That's where the issue lies, is that you take the mask for reality. And unfortunately, because of the halo effect, when we like them, or worse, when they're really attractive, it's like it's almost like we just get fooled by them. Especially if they remind us of us, or if they look like, or they remind us of a unfulfilled need, or they remind us of a parent that didn't give us love. You can see how when you listen to the questions I get, you can see how that happens, because humans are animals. You know what I'm saying? And we're easily fooled by our emotions and by what we see externally in the person. And it's very hard to really drill deeply to know a person's personality.
So you're kind of lured into getting into a relationship with this person, but you don't really know who they are. You don't really know their secrets, their shadow side, their darkness. And then you get involved with them, and then it comes out and they grate you, they irritate you, and you break off the relationship. So you have to be able, if you are in that situation where you're looking for a long-term relationship, to look below the surface, to try and gauge the person's character.
The issue is that when you like what you're seeing on the surface, you choose not to look beneath the surface. People are tricky, people.
Not their personality, which is different. Their personality is the mask that they wear, how they appear in social situations. You want to look at what's underneath that, all of their character, at how strong they are, whether they're a person who shares your basic values about life, who has a kind of inner strength. A very important quality is, can this person take criticism at all, right? So if you're in a relationship for several years, inevitably there are going to be things that grate on you, and you're going to want to tell them what you don't like. And there are people out there that can't take any kind of criticism, the slightest put down, and they explode, they get outraged, and they get almost violent sometimes. You can't be in.
By the way, if you guys enjoy my videos, but you guys want more new edited videos, because these channels, we post older videos, check out my new channel, Mindful Attraction For Real. We have highly edited videos, longer form, and we're only planning to post once a week, right? We're also going to be having a studio there too. So if you guys enjoy high quality Alex, we're going deeper into the topic, and to help with the algorithm, check out the channel by clicking on the description down below, or in the comment section, it's pinned. See you guys inside.
Yeah, honestly, I've known people like that, and you can't work with them. Honestly, I mean, I've thought about this before, but thinking about it from a partner, yeah, 100%, because there's going to be things you're going to criticize them about. That is inevitable. You're going to not like certain things about them, and you're going to criticize them. And I get a lot of calls from clients where they say I can't criticize him because he gets mad, and they tell me what should I do to fix this, and I'm like, oh fuck, here comes another person who wants me to be Black Jesus and do some magic spinning Rooney. I'm like, girl, you gotta leave that guy. Boy, you better leave that girl. Cause if they cannot take criticism, if your criticism pisses them off, then what the hell? It can't work.
There are going to be things that grate on you, and you're going to want to tell them what you don't like. And there are people out there that can't take any kind of criticism, the slightest put down, and they explode, they get outraged, and they get almost violent sometimes. You can't be in a relationship if it's someone that you can't criticize or tell that this is behavior that bothers you, right? So you have to be able to gauge that, and you have to be very aware some of the underlying qualities that
and also, more importantly, you have to be honest with yourself to accept that this person might not be for you, that this person might be too angry, might take criticism too wrongly, because a lot of the times life will show you who the person is. It's just that, are you willing to really look at them for who they are, or are you so deeply in denial that he could show you the photos of him stabbing his ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, and you're like, oh, that's an AI photo. You know, I believe what he says. You know how many people? It's the whole, he was a good boy, murdered kid who killed 100 children. Like, bitch, he's not a good boy. He was Satan. The fuck?
people have. You can notice if they're hypersensitive. If you ever say the slightest thing that's actually quite simple and basic, but they take offense at it, they take offense too easily, that should be a sign of, damn, I can't be with that person for very long because they're going to be offended constantly and I won't be able to tell them what I truly feel, right? So, and if someone is just bursting with all kinds of insecurities, you're going to be spending your life trying to assuage their insecurities. So you want to look under the hood. You want to see the underlying strength of that person's character. And I think of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who when he was a young man was very handsome, very wealthy. There were all of
he
these
wasn't. The
beautiful
fuck?
women
He looked
that
like
wanted
Bob.
to have him propose marriage to. And he ended up choosing Eleanor Roosevelt, who was considered to be kind of the ugly duckling.
Sorry about using that face, people. They're like, oh my god, he's a fucking Melissa, calm down, man. You're fucking, you're having a heart attack. You're having a stroke, Melissa. Calm down.
Circle. And she wasn't ugly, but she wasn't one of these beauties like these other women. He chose her because of her character, because she was strong, because she was intelligent.
Honestly, there was an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where one of the doctors, I think it was a doctor or a lawyer. Anyways, long story short, is that they found out that his wife was really unattractive and he was really a famous person. And when they found out that his wife was unattractive, they were like, wow, yeah, I could trust you. Oh, he was an accountant. So then people trusted him with their money because he had an attractive wife. But then they realized that his wife wasn't really her, and his wife was a supermodel. And so everyone just withdrew their money from his account because they were like, dude, if you're gonna be dating a woman superficially, then I don't want to give you my money. But they liked him because they assumed that if she was unattractive, it means that he was reading her character, right? And so it's kind of like that. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but there is an element to if you really want to find the right person, looks shouldn't be the most important thing. And I say that for myself, right? And I say that how old you are, how you look should be a factor, but not as big of a. It shouldn't take up such big of a pie, right? And that applies for women and for men. If you go off of by how they look, you're not always gonna pick wrong. But my God, you're playing a very dangerous game. You're playing Russian roulette. You don't know what's behind that trigger. You don't know what's behind those beautiful lips. You don't know what's behind that dunk on the trunk. None of that shit, man. Why? Because appearances are meant to deceive a lot of the times. Most of the things we put on are meant to accentuate or diminish certain parts of who we are as people. And it's just, it kind of like how Robert Greene says is that our biggest weakness is we get fooled by appearances. It's just how it is.
And because he could imagine, and this is a very important thing, he could imagine having a conversation with her 10 years down the line and not being bored. So this is something that I think is really important, is the superficial things, the sexual attraction, which isn't totally superficial, but can be, the kind of things that grab you initially, aren't necessarily the things that are going to last over the course of years. And you want to be able to think, can I talk to them about subjects that interest me? Are they able to surprise me? Or have I heard all of their ideas at the end of 2 days? Do they keep repeating the same stories over and over again? Am I bored? Or can I imagine talking to this person at the breakfast table in 10 years and still being interested in them?
So it's almost like what he's saying, because he has experience with this, is that you want to imagine, can this be my best friend? Do we have not just sexual chemistry, but chemistry where we talk, we get along, but not just that, because my God, people only focus on that. Can they take criticism? Are they open to you saying what you don't like about the things that they do? Can you take criticism? Oh my God, what? We're just pointing the finger. Like we're fucking no. Can you? Because some people are legit the Antichrist people. Some people are so good at looking at other people's flaws, but they can't look at their own flaws. So you got to ask yourself, can you take criticism? Do you get violent when people criticize you? Or are you too sensitive? All right, if you guys enjoyed that video, you guys are going to like my new course. It's called The Commitment Blueprint. It's a course that I created for women who are struggling with finding themselves in situationships, finding themselves with men who like them but don't want to commit, finding themselves with giving too much and not getting much in return. And the beauty about getting commitment is that it has nothing to do about your looks and more to do about your strategy. Like, I've seen women apply these strategies and get married and have kids and have long-lasting relationships. Why? Because the strategies that I'm going to teach on this course is based on pure psychology. I've been working on this for the past 2 years. And every time I make a promise on my courses, If you guys have gotten my courses, you guys know I over deliver, right? And the reason why I made this course is because a lot of ladies watch my videos, and unfortunately, you guys give too much. You guys love too hard, and that attracts the wrong energy. So it's really about learning how to manage this energy. You're gonna attract different types of guys by learning how to control that energy, right? And if you don't believe me, well, guess what? You can find all of these reviews of women who have taken my courses and have achieved the promises in my courses. And look, the beauty about it is that you can pre-order this course for $75 rather than $99. And when the course comes out and you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. I'll give you your money back if you don't like it, and you have 30 days to get your money back. But I'm telling you, I guarantee that if you do exactly what the score says, you will find commitment. And above all, you're gonna stop wasting your time with the wrong guys. Because at the end of the day, to find the right guy, it's all about filtering the wrong guys. Eventually, the right guys will filter through. If you just apply what the course says, it'll break the negative pattern of being attracted to guys that are not into commitment. I'm telling you, there's a reason why you attract guys who are not committed. It's because there's a pattern and you're not aware of it. And sometimes you need someone like Father Alex to show you these patterns and in order to break it. Like I've seen it many times before. Okay. So just pre-order right now on the description down below. I like to think this is going to be my best course I've ever done in my life. I have that feeling, especially with all the research that I've done, you're gonna get results, guaranteed, or your money back. Anyways, take care.